What is up, chat? It is Stranger Social Media Manager Christian here with a brand new, totally work-sanctioned segment that we are calling In the Weeds, where every once in a while we're just going to explore some different aspects of cannabis culture. This week, for our first episode, we're going to be talking about an indie video game that has been topping the Steam charts the last couple of weeks called Schedule 1, where you and 3 of your closest friends get to start from the bottom up, being street dealers, developing your own weed strains, and getting into a little bit of trouble with the police. Level up your street cred to unlock new neighborhoods, new drugs, and new customers. And honestly, the best part of any simulator game is when it's a co-op game, because there's a job for you and all of your friends. I like to handle managing our inventory and making sure that all of our drug processes are automated and that we always have bulk product to sell. I have friends who like to go out and just manage our street pushers. They like to get new customers for us to sell to. And I have friends who really just act as enforcers and beat up the cops behind us whenever any of us develop any heat on the streets. So, there's something for everyone to do, whether you like survival games, crafting games, or just sandbox games with your friends. And the best part about Schedule 1 is that it doesn't really take itself too seriously at all. Alright, so if you're deciding to give Schedule 1 a try out for the very first time, here are my 5 big tips that I wish I knew when I first started playing. First, invest in the panel van as early as you can. And this is, serves 2 purposes. First off, the storage that you get in the game, early game, will probably be enough, but even the largest shelves that you can get only have 8 slots per shelf, whereas the van itself, I believe, has 16 slots. So the van gives you extra storage when you run out of space on your shelves in your warehouse, but when you're buying materials to do your mixes and come up with new strains for your drugs, the storage van makes it really easy to transport those materials back and forth from the gas stations to your warehouse without having to order online, wait 5 hours for your shipment to come in, and have to pay the $200 delivery fee. My next big tip is for those of you who are looking to make as much cash as possible, and that is to invest in one recipe that you use to develop and sell in bulk. Your dealers are always going to be able to sell to your customer list. Your customers are always going to buy from you whenever you list any specific strain for sale. So you optimize your strain, find one that makes you a decent amount of money, and then produce that strain in bulk. You can always create your unique mixtures for developing new customers according to their taste, but it's really not feasible to make a bunch of money off of a million different strains as opposed to just having one strain that you can produce 100 bricks of and move that between all of your dealers. Our third tip kind of ties in with the second tip, which is to give your bulk orders to your dealers. When you get the game, you can eventually go from individual baggies to jars of 5 to bricks of 20. If you give your dealers bricks of 20, they'll automatically break them down into jars of 5s and the single baggies as customers demand them. The secret here, though, is make sure you leave some inventory slots empty for those dealers, because if you load them up with bricks and they don't have any slots to break down into smaller baggies, they're not going to be able to do that, and they won't sell to any customers because no customer in their right mind is buying an entire brick at a time. Our fourth tip here today is learn how to use the automation as quickly as possible. This is going to make your mass production and your bulk production of your main strain that you're selling so much easier. If you learn how to leverage your automation, you'll have chemists that mix all of your products for you. You'll have botanists that grow all of your strains for you. You'll even have a dude to pick up your trash for you so that you can turn your trap house into a trap home. All you really need to do is make sure that your supplies are always stocked and everything else will run itself. And finally, our last tip that you need to know for getting started in Schedule 1 is strategize your dealer customer list. Don't just randomly assign customers to your dealers, and even if you're strategizing by neighborhood, that's not enough. You have to remember that your dealers are going to take a 20% cut of every single sale that they make, and customers in Schedule 1 actually have purchasing preferences. So what you need to do is figure out who the neighborhood low spenders are, give those to your dealers so that they can take their cut of the low spenders, and then you can use the rest of the customers to maximize your sales, and you can upsell people like Geraldine, who are fiends for expensive product but don't really have any sort of high quality standards whatsoever. Honestly, the most fun part of Schedule 1 is coming up with new mixes and developing new strains. And the best part about that is you get to name your own strains. So, if you have any inside jokes with your friends who are also playing, or you want to leave a surprise strain on a shelf for them to discover, really the possibilities are endless. Schedule 1 is available for you and your friends to play in early access on Steam right now.